It's your boy, Mr. Bitches, coming out my native city of South Central Los Angeles. That's right, I gotta put the emphasis on it. South Central Los Angeles. The fight don't stop until the heart stop. Let the new legacy begin. What up, homeboys, homegirls? Important message to my Grass Star Nation. I'm a big WWE fan, have been a big WWE fan since the late 90s, since I was a small child. So I feel I have the right to speak about this, surrounding this. You know, been watching wrestling like 25 years. Like I said, since a small child, Hulk Hogan has passed. The iconic Hulk Hogan has passed. Also had a controversial past as well. You know, like I said, I have a right to speak about this because I've been watching wrestling, you know, a little bit on and off, but somewhat consistently since the late 90s. So I know a lot about the WWE and wrestling, you know, all ins and out about it. So basically, yeah, he passed. Um, so he made a big impact on wrestling, man. No doubt. He was the most popular, most famous wrestler of all time. He was the reason why a lot of people, all different races, backgrounds, different countries, tuned in to watch, wrestling when it was known as World Wrestling Federation back then, which is now WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment today. He was the reason. Hulk Hogan was the reason why people tuned in to watch wrestling back in the day. He body slammed Andre the Giant. He headlined different WrestleManias. He was at the first WrestleMania back in like '85, the first WrestleMania. It's been like 40 years since WrestleMania. It's been premiering and, showcasing. Very historic event in wrestling. Will always be, very legendary. And yeah, I see Billy talking about if y'all familiar. I made a video quoting on one of Willie D's comments before. Not saying that he's not right, but it's kind of controversial what he's saying. But Willie D, hip hop legend, from hip hop group, the Ghetto Boys. I watch him a lot. I'm very in tune with his content. It's very much for his blackness. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm for my people as well. I know how to kind of like dissect and when to say something and when not to say something. But like I said, I'm a big WWE fan, so I have to speak about this. I feel like I'm entitled to speak about this. I'm watching wrestling, like I said, since the late 90s. Let's just go fast forward. Let's fast forward to like 2007. 2007. I think it was 2007 SummerSlam. Hulk Hogan had a wrestling match with Randy Orton. I think it was 2007. He had like a wrestling match with Randy Orton. I think he won that match. A little bit, let's say a little bit after 2007, you weren't really seeing too much of Hulk Hogan anymore, if I'm not mistaken. No, you weren't. Like 2008, 2009, 2010, you weren't really seeing before from like 2007 and probably before that, even after he was, partially retired or mostly retired, you were seeing Hulk Hogan a lot in the early 2000s. You were seeing him a lot, even after he was, partially retired or mostly retired. All the way throughout, early 2000, 2001, you were seeing him consistently. He had a match against Rock back in 2002, which was WrestleMania 18. He lost that match. He was representing NWO, and then after he went black and white with NWO, he turned back to his original self to embrace his, true identity as Hulk Hogan with the orange and yellow. Anyways, transpiring after 2007, after he won that match against Randy Orton, you weren't seeing too much about Hulk Hogan after 2007, going to 08, 09, 010, aside from the recession that happened back in 2009, taking a big pack at the, taking a big hit at the, economy back in the U.S., it affected a lot of things, but especially wrestling as well. And you didn't see too much of Hulk Hogan. And, I also remember around that time, the late 2000, going into the early 2010s, I was hearing about a couple of different racial disputes or comments that Hulk Hogan had made. So this is not the first, winding back to what I seen. I'm watching Willie D live right now. I'm watching Willie D live. He's talking about, he just had a live like an hour ago or a couple hours ago. He's talking about Hulk.
Why would you be happy that somebody called you if you do racist things? If you're so excited about doing racist stuff, if you're so proud about racist things, if you like seeing racist acts committed.
See, I'm watching Willie D right now. But he basically saying that we should not honor as black people, in America, we should not honor Hulk Hogan, death as a person. Well, him as a person, because he wasn't an honorable person because he was racist. The R word. I don't even know if I can get banned for saying that on here, but he was the R word. He was, prejudiced, very biased against black Americans. Now, I wasn't around exactly to investigate every single situation that transpired with this still a legendary, iconic figure from wrestling. But I can admit that I did hear about a few different racial disputes he had. Son, give me the lotion. Give me the lotion, son. Stop, behave. I did hear about a few different disputes that he had racially against our people. About comments he made. A few different occasions, more than once. So, obviously there's some, controversy out there about him being racist towards my people. One of the main ones was about him basically being mad and making a racial slur about, I don't know, almost a little bit over 10 years ago. Yes, son. Yes, they are. Go play, son. The pizza will be here soon. I'll let you know when the pizza will be here. Go play with toys, yo. He made a racial comment because his daughter was supposedly dating a brother around like 11 or 12 years ago, something like that. He made a racial comment, and it got hacked or whatever, it got exposed online or whatever. It hit all across the internet. It became exposed to the world. He made this racial comment about his daughter dating a black man, and it was quite vicious. From what I heard the statement, it wasn't just F that black person. It was like straight, like historically racist. So that's why I understand why he's talking about this. This is not the first time I heard about, Hulk Hogan's, dislike about comments that he made about disliking my race, being targeted at my race. This is not the first racial incident I heard about with Hogan against my people. So I believe, there's some truth to it. If he really said that, I heard it was recorded or something like that. So yeah, I think it's some evidence on him really saying that. It's different from hearsay and actual record of him saying it. So it's like that kills everything. You can't. Oh, I was drunk. None of that. You made, you made that comment. Do I believe people change? Yes, people can change. Let's not get it messed up. People's all kind of people with different. How y'all doing? Red Chapter. What's up? What's going on? Anyways, yeah. Do I believe people change? Yes, people can change, but change from having them type of racial or those strong feelings towards another race, I don't know, man. It's a low chance. It's not impossible, but it's a low chance, a possible chance for somebody changing. Like it would take a lot of time, a lot of healing, a lot of counseling for somebody to change from their feelings of another race like that, according to what statements he made and what racial the recording that was made of him basically showing disdain to my race. It would have to take a lot of healing. He would have to been through a lot of counseling, a lot of self-help programs and stuff for him to be completely really rehabilitated when he passed. Within the last, let's go back. Like I said, let's go back. After he had that big match with Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, proclaimed Legend Killer, which he is, Randy Orton, the Viper. He's a 14-time world champion, whatever. Randy Orton, all props to Randy Orton. Grew up watching him. I remember he first won the World Heavyweight title back in 2004 SummerSlam. Became the youngest world heavyweight champion. Even his father didn't do that. No disrespect to his father, Bob Cowboy Orton, but even Bob Cowboy, his grandfather didn't even do that. He's a third-generation superstar, Randy Orton. He's done a lot. Have I ever heard anything about him being racial? No. Randy Orton's legacy is pure all the way, all around. Yeah. Quite athletic as well. He's a veteran too. Much love to Randy Orton. Anyways, back to Hulk Hogan. So basically, like I said, Hulk Hogan following after he had the match with Randy Orton back in 2007 SummerSlam, right? Which is almost like what? That's a long time ago, to 20 years to this day. You didn't hear too much about Hulk Hogan following after 2007. 08, 09, 010, 011. You didn't hear too much about Hulk Hogan. So it was a word on the street that he was banned from WWE because of the racial comments he made, the hateful comments he made towards my race, black people. And his precious basically reliving. I believe it because I didn't see him. I didn't see Hulk Hogan make appearances like that because before, even after he partially became retired, or mostly became retired, coming back to the WWE after the WCW shut down and all that. After he came back to the WWE 2001, right? No, late 2001, early 2002, something like that, with the NWO Black and White, like the iconic group. He was making some appearances, even though he was partially kind of retired at that time, but he wasn't retired. He was a little older, late 40s, early 50s. He's still active though. He was still making some appearances, even having occasional wrestling matches and involved in certain rivalries. But like I said, fast forward around 2007 SummerSlam after he had that big win against the Legend Killer Randy Orton. After 2007 SummerSlam, following years after that, I didn't see him. So I believe there's truth behind WWE banning him because he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe, was 2005. Yeah, so that's even before all this mess started years before this mess started transpiring about him having this disdain towards black people, having these, hateful feelings towards black people. Anyways, yeah, 2008, 2009, 2010, I did not see nothing about no Hulk Hogan. I think they banned him around late 2000s, or probably early 2010s, because this happened. I think the first incident happened around like 2012, 2013. Maybe he was going through a little dark moment during the late 2000s, late 2000s, and then going into the early 2010s, he really started showing his true feelings. That's probably what happened. And then when they got out there, WWE wasn't playing it; they banned him right away. Because WWE have black wrestlers, right? They have like a black audience. It wasn't, they're all about entertainment, worldwide entertainment, and they got deals and endorsements with different countries around the world. They wasn't trying to ruin their brand with no hateful stuff like that towards another race. So they hurry up and banned him. They banned him for a while. I heard he came back around 2000. That he started making more appearances around like 2018, I believe, which is true because I was watching wrestling around that time too. A little bit on and off, but I was still somewhat consistent enough to make a statement, to really speak about it. I think after 2018, he was reformed with his legacy contract with the WWE and able to make his merchants and his merchandise open back up again to be sold throughout the WWE world, and for him to make sudden appearances again, and for him, I think he made a deal to help out with like the younger wrestlers or be some kind of a coach or whatever according to his legacy contract. And yeah, they brought him back with open arms, or halfway open arms again, and started letting him be a part of the brand again after like 2018. Anyways, Hulk Hogan is an iconic figure. Do I like the fact that I heard about him having racially motivated, hateful feelings towards my people on a few different occasions? No, I don't. I would never, endorse that side of it. I would never endorse the race, the hateful side that he had in his heart, which I think he probably did not get rid of. I think he only, kind of put it to the side and kind of got over it because he wanted to break his ties with the WWE, which is, pretty much his whole life. I think, he made a comment because he made an apology from what I heard because he had to. In order to get welcome back into WWE, doesn't mean it was real truthful, but he had to because WWE was his life. Man. He was wrestling since the early 80s, So, do I believe he ever became rehabilitated based off of the hateful feelings he had towards my race? I don't think he became fully rehabilitated. Do I think he probably regretted saying that? Yeah, he probably did regret it, but did he really get over his true feelings? I don't know. I don't think so. Not all of it, because something like that that's that deep. From what I heard he said, that's something that take years to get over. You know, I heard people that was, you know, that felt, you know, hateful against another race, never even said no stuff like that. What he said, some people have. Some people said words, but that's some of the worst he said. What I heard, I even heard some prejudiced people didn't even get to that type of level about talking about people as far as they, you know, the hateful feelings towards another race. Maybe they just might show by actions or just say something smart real quick that, you know, that would make you believe that, you know, that they feel that way towards the people. But he said some real, like, straight up blunt, from what I heard, like, just prideful about it too. You know, and I, you know, anyways, yeah, I'm just going off what I know, my experience. I don't want to speak too much about what's lingering around, you know, on the internet. I don't do that. But like I said, I'm a big time WWE fan. Have been somewhat, mostly consistently, 75, 80% over the last, you know, like 25 years since I was a small child, barely learning in elementary school. So yeah, you know, I made my, you know, statement about Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. Iconic, big, you know, big time. I'm embracing this wrestling side. Big time iconic figure to WWE, most definitely. You know, most famous wrestler ever lived. Yes. You know, tuned in over half the wrestling fans that became known to be. Yes. Won numerous heavyweight championships, you know, all kind of different titles. Won Royal Rumbles. You know, changed the culture of the WWE. The created iconic groups, NWO, started, you know, just basically changed the whole world, the whole movement, and what the WWE is known today. Yes, that's why he was allowed back in. You know what I mean? They gave him a pass because he was WWE, the face of the WWE. You know, next to, you know, The Undertaker and The Rock. He's even more powerful in a way, kind of more powerful than them. If he was before them, and he even influenced them in a way. You know, he was around doing it big before they started coming along. You know, and The Rock would speak about that, about him being influenced. You know, Hulk Hogan coming around. We watched some of The Rock shows. You know, Hulk Hogan, like The Rock, one of his, so I don't think it's airing anymore, but one of The Rock shows that he had that just stopped airing a couple years ago, talking about Young Rock or something like that. He had airing for like on air for like probably like 4 years or whatever. He was talking about how the Hulk Hogan was coming around. He kind of influenced him, played a part in wrestling. So even The Rock embraced him for a moment. The racial controversial side, hell no. Like I said, I would never align myself with those type of people that feel that way towards my, you know, people. Those type of superior believing people. I'm not gonna get too much in details. I know how to bounce around certain little words about, you know, without me getting rejected off YouTube, but still get my point across real smooth. I'm not gonna fall in that little dummy trap. Anyways, you know who still run YouTube at the end of the day. You gotta be smart. Anyways, you know, yeah. If you want to hear more, you know, I would try to let me see. What are you talking about? We see your feet. Enough of WWE, huh? Enough of WWE. Like I said, I'm speaking about WWE because I've been a wrestling fan for the longest. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, yeah. Anyways, what you know about the WWE, man? That's not just a general perspective of what everybody else is saying. That's my challenge to you. Anyways, if you want to hear, I talk about everything. I diversify my content. I don't just talk about one topic. I'm not a one-trick pony. I talk about a wide range of a variety of things for your eyes to view, for my audience to view. You know, also check out my uncle Brad Starr, done 28 years in prison. You know, completely rehabilitated man. He lived the streets. You know, back when it was hardcore, back in, you know, from the 80s to the 90s. You know, lived that was that thug. You know, that banger in the streets back then. Now he's a completely rehabilitated individual. Brad Starr, go by Brad Starr. You know, live a street life in South Texas. Did 28 years. served his time, became a completely different man, started up a few different programs from behind the walls to help other people parole, also to help at-risk youth. That's a guaranteed fact. And now he's still helping. He's a career man on the streets. Works with the the homeless shelter, feed the homeless shelter. That's his job. He feeds the homeless shelter. That's his career right now. And he also it's part of a church. They have giveaway events. We got an event coming up next month. We're gonna have a little giveaway event for the kids. We're gonna have a little raffle giveaway out here in LA. We're gonna be at a park next month. So yeah, we're gonna have some video footage. Also, we're gonna have a video footage from the homeboy Team Bone from my family's neighborhood as well. Legendary, iconic figure from the lynch mob. Big impactful force on the 90s gangster rap scene back in, from the early to the mid 90s. You can't forget about the iconic group Lynch Mob that was headlined by Ice Cube, that was steered by Ice Cube, of course, iconic Ice Cube in his own right. And everybody's right, obviously. Even being a part of wrestling, a part of the rap scene like that, you gotta admit Ice Cube was a legend, even in the movie industry. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna have T-Bone performing from the legend, from the iconic Lynch Mob group, from the 90s at our event next month. I'll keep y'all, posted on that. I will get footage of that when that, event pops off late next month. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna be talking about Trump. I'm gonna do my little short video reactions, 90 video reactions. I'm gonna do some music, some R&B pop music reactions of some of today's stars and some past, iconic stars. So tune in. If you want to hear more about music reactions, short videos about, short music reactions. I'm gonna do all that short movie type of urban gangster movie classics, reactions to those type of, movies as well. I'm going to be bringing that to you, for your eyes to see as well. So all the short movie video reactions, the music reactions, I'm gonna do a whole. I got a whole a pond of entertainment coming to you real soon. So yeah, subscribe. You want to see more? Subscribe. I'm gonna be bringing it to you, fast. So I hope you'll be able to keep up. I'm gonna bring it to you fast. So try to keep up all your entertainment at the earliest convenience. Much love to the Lakers. I love all LA teams, Clippers, Dodgers, Rams, all Los Angeles athletic professional sports teams. I celebrate and I fully endorse. LA, we must have some unity so we can elevate and continue to entertain the world as we do. But yeah, subscribe. Don't be scared to subscribe. Subscribe to me, like I already told you what I do. Subscribe to my uncle Grasstar, my real blood uncle Grasstar. I already told you what he do. And he's a counselor, he's a certified counselor as well. That's why you always talk about traumas and, the whole counseling thing, which, people with addictions and resentments and stuff. He talks about all that. He talks about fitness. He works out very hard. He talks about, just different life events on how to protect yourself through, different type of, serious life events, because he's been through it all. Like I said, he did 28 years in prison. So listen to my Uncle Grasstar. Subscribe to us. Check us out. My family, always repping my family, Grasstar 127 Entertainment, coming out straight out of South Central Los Angeles. LA born, native, ambitious. Subscribe, man. If you ain't subscribed yet, you tripping. Subscribe and hit that pretty notifications bell that you see, that you can't miss, and be in tune with all the latest get down of gossip coming from me, from this channel, this precious LA native channel. I'm gonna give you all the latest LA news out here, born and raised. And share the channel as well. Don't be shy. Holler back with another banger soon. I'm out. West Side for life.